My heart goes out to Hollow Knight fans. It really does. I feel for you folks. I know what this is like. I do. I know. It's the whole Pikmin thing to like, it's one thing to wait for a new entry in a series without knowing if or when it will ever come. But it's another to have it like actually announced and to just be like, okay, but it's been so many years. Where the heck is it? It's Pikmin, Pikmin 4, it's Metroid Prime 4. Like I get you. That is not something I would wish upon my worst enemy, because it's just such a painful place to be. And in the case of Silksong, I've been kind of wanting to just do a video in general, just kind of going over the whole situation, just because it is weird. It is so weird. We all get that, like, game development is hard. Projects can kind of balloon in scope and they can get delayed. But this situation is such an extreme example where it was a game that was originally going to be a DLC. And then, okay, well, it's ballooned enough that it's going to be its own game. But then, like, they announced it how many years ago? I've lost track, like 4 or 5 years ago by now. Like, it feels like it's taken even longer than the development of the original game. It's just taken so long. And they have given, like, updates with promises. They have, like, said, yes, it's coming this year or next year, years ago. So everybody is just like, what's happening? And again, my heart goes out to these people. And honestly, let's just say I sense the desperation. I sense the desperation. I feel like I can see how I'm not gonna say, going crazy, that kind of, lots of words like that kind of get thrown around. I'm gonna take a more empathetic approach and say, I can see how much this hurts you through your behavior and through, because that's the thing. The problem here, it's not just that the game is taking so long, it's that the developer, Team Cherry, just like won't give updates. They just like won't. And I can sort of understand the hesitance to give an update if later you have to amend it. But at the same time, complete and utter radio silence is what is scary and weird and confusing and making people go, okay, I'll say it, a little crazy. Because it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. And so anytime there is anything, not even, well, it's never like real info, but it's like potential info. Basically the rumor mill for Silksong. It rivals the rumor mill for Switch 2. It's just anything that anyone can grab onto. They kind of just have to, and I get that. I feel that need where you're like, I want this thing so much that I'm willing to grab onto anything, because grabbing on to this nothing thing is better than nothing. It's better than just going yet another day, just trying not to think about it. So all that to say, there's a rumor right now, and I was streaming yesterday, and someone said, hey, did you hear the Hollow Knight news? And I was like, whoa, is there Hollow Knight news? Is there real Silksong news? And I finally looked it up this morning, and I saw that it's, okay. Okay, I'll just tell you about it. One of the members of Team Cherry, the developer, they changed their social media profile picture to a picture of a chocolate cake. All right, that's step. You can already kind of see where this is going. Not specifically, but like the nature of this. You can tell that this is not like direct, real, tangible news quite yet. They changed their profile picture to a piece of chocolate cake, and of course, the sleuths of the Hollow Knight community, they got on this. They reverse image searched the specific picture of chocolate cake. And it turns out that that image is from a recipe that was posted. I love this. I love this. I'm laughing as I say it. A recipe for chocolate cake that was posted on April 2nd, 2024. Knee-jerk reaction is, oh, April 2nd? Is that like close to April 1st? Is it? No, that's not even it. Nothing to do with April Fool's Day. No, it's because April 2nd, 2025 is the date of the big Switch 2 Nintendo Direct. Oh, you see, so that's the news. That's the thing. And the funny thing is, I feel like I could go either way with this. On the one hand, this is nuts. This is nonsense. Of course not, right? This is such a stretch. This is grasping at the strawiest of straws, right? But at the same time, why did they change their picture to that cake? That is really specific. That's really specific. And I think we've reached this point with, I don't know, the internet, people on the internet, fandom, is that, like, there's no level of mystery that will ever go, like, unsolved when people put their heads together. You know, it's kind of like Animal Well. Billy Basso put such deep, so many layers of secrets into that game. He made it so deep and so cryptic and mysterious, he thought it was going to take years. He said it multiple times. He thought it was going to be, he said there's probably some mysteries in there that will take the community years to figure out. Took them a month. They cracked that game in like a month. Because when passionate fans put their heads together, they figure stuff out. So if this person from Team Cherry really did want to give some sort of small clue without actually giving any real, official, tangible information, then they probably knew that this would work. They probably knew that people would figure this out. They would find the source of the image, and they would notice that April 2nd date. And they might put two and two together. So, and you know, to put it plainly, they believe that if it's sharing the date with the Nintendo Direct, then it could be that Nintendo Direct will also finally re-reveal, whatever it is by now, Silksong. Now, to bounce back the other way, I don't necessarily know why Silksong would be featured in the big Switch 2 Direct. Because this, I mean, you know, it's an indie game. It's probably going to be multi-platform ultimately, at least eventually, even if there's some sort of like timed exclusivity or something. But like, why wouldn't it have been at any other Nintendo Direct? Why would it have to be? Because like the Direct for Switch 2, like just imagine the Switch January 2017 presentation. The entire point of that presentation was not just to show off games, because like it's not just about games coming, you know, especially if they're coming to Switch 1 as well. That presentation was, sorry, I'm mixing them up, but like the original January 2017 presentation was, here is the future of Switch. This is a brand new system, and here's what you can expect to play on it for the next few years. So if we look at this presentation as probably being the same thing, more or less, I don't expect a lot of like random other game announcements, you know, especially not a lot of like third-party stuff, except with like third parties that are working really closely with Nintendo to bring content to the Switch 2. But like, Silksong isn't gonna be a Switch 2 exclusive. I don't see why it would be. So that doesn't seem like the kind of Direct to me that would have that sort of thing. And I also want to point out that the reason people are always looking for Silksong news in Nintendo Directs or partner showcases or whatever, or indie showcases, it really could belong in any of them, is because originally it was like revealed in a Nintendo presentation, and so it was kind of seen as a Nintendo-ish related thing. But the problem with that is then a few years later, the game was like kind of re-revealed as an Xbox thing. It was in an Xbox presentation, and that whole thing where like Phil Spencer was like, all the games of this presentation are releasing within the next year. And that was like 4 years ago or whatever by now. But the point is, it seemed that at that time, they had established some sort of partnership with Xbox to, either make it a timed exclusive or, bring it to Game Pass on day one. And it would just be very strange to kind of like start with Nintendo and then switch allegiances over to Xbox and then switch back. It seems kind of unlikely. At the same time, if something is going weird with development and maybe there was some problem with Microsoft and Xbox, and maybe that's partially why this has all taken so long, either that or just in all of these years, things can change. And it is possible to change a thing to a different thing and then change it back to the original thing. It is technically a possible scenario, even if it just kind of seems a little unlikely. So I don't know. It seems desperate. It seems like a real reach, but at the same time, it also doesn't. So I'm pretty torn on it. Is this real? I really don't know, but there's a nice little a quote here about this from YouTuber Fireborn. April 2nd is also the date of the next Nintendo Direct. Now, the combination of the fact that this is nearly 3 months away and that Team Cherry knows how much we focus as a community on Nintendo Directs, it really can't be a coincidence. The fact that this is also connected seemingly to the launch of the Switch 2 and the Switch 2's announcement kind of indicates that maybe that had something to do with why Silksong was delayed. That's just kind of a tinfoil hat theory of mine. We can't deny that there is some chance that this is an elaborate joke, but I think that Team Cherry have received so much guff from the community that I don't think this is something they would joke about. And like I said, they have done ARGs in the past. That date can't be a coincidence. It has to be meant for us to find. I wasn't aware that they had done. See that, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to read that. If that is true, they have done that kind of thing in the past, then I suppose that does give a little bit more weight to this idea. But yeah, at the same time, I really don't know. But I would just like to say again, I'm very sorry that the world has forced you all into this place, because I would be here right with you, I'm not a big huge Hollow Knight fan. I did start the game, I did like the game, I just didn't finish it. I do need to get back to it. I can definitely understand the love for this series, and I could just, in an alternate timeline, I'm right here with you, and I'm grabbing onto all this stuff, and I definitely want to believe it. I understand it. I understand it completely. And you know what? I hope it turns out true. I hope you end up being validated for all of this, and I hope that we do end up getting some sort of news. Maybe in a few months, maybe, possibly. Would be nice. I mean, that's the thing about it. If there's anything that we know about Silksong, it's that at the very least it hasn't been canceled. We have reason to believe it is at least being worked on, and that's the thing about something that is being worked on. It has to come eventually. Even if every year you say, there's no way, there is absolutely, positively no possible way this time next year, we don't have the announcement. And then that year does go by. And then another, and then another, and then another. And you're just like, okay, well now, I just don't know what to believe. I just don't know what to believe. But it does have to come someday. Technically, you can't be sure. Technically, it is possible they could announce, sorry, there actually were a lot of problems and we've disbanded and the game is canceled. It's technically possible, but it is going to come someday. It has to. One of these times, one of these rumors will be true. It just will. So you have to wonder, is this gonna be the one? Is this going to be the year?